Hello and welcome to Priya's Corner. Well, it's a good day, good news. The Women's Reservation Bill has been passed. It was, in fact, it's also very historic because the new Parliament building, this is the first legislation to be passed in the new Parliament building. So that sends its own kind of optics. And if there is one government that could actually deliver this controversial bill, it is the Modi government. He has the mandate, he has the intent, and he has stuck to his word. In fact, if you recall, this is a bill that has been trying to be passed since 1996 when the Devi Gowda government introduced it. Then, of course, later on, Sonia Gandhi, of course, was a big champion of women's reservation. She tried to pilot it through, but both of them did not have the requisite numbers. They met with opposition a lot from the regional parties, who were, caste-based parties, pro-bundle parties, and also parties that had a very, rural base, and they felt that, this is a bill that would be taken advantage by urban women, not so much like the grassroots women. As Sharad Yadav said rather dramatically, "Parkati aurtein aayengi," that's all. He meant short-haired, which means modern women and not the kind of women he feels should be coming in from this bill. So the bill was in cold storage for a long, long time. Oh, well, 6 months or 8 months before the general elections, the Modi government brings it in. So there is much to be euphoric about. But, why are we not celebrating so much? Because when you take a closer look at the bill will not be implemented in time for 2024 elections. In fact, there is a huge, long timeline that is dependent on a lot of other prerequisites. The bill will be passed after the delimitation process is over. The delimitation process depends on the census, which has been delayed for a while now. In fact, the delimitation process also has a lot of other problems. For instance, parties from the south, Kanimoy, she spoke in fact in parliament during the reservations bill and said, the delimitation process is very anti-south. So then I don't think the delimitation process slated for 2026 may not take place on time. If it doesn't, will the women's reservation bill be ready in time for the 2029 elections or not? Those are the big cricket questions that we will be asking. And also, there is, although the bill has been passed almost unanimously in the Lok Sabha, apart from opposition from the Asaduddin Owaisi party, there are a lot of apprehensions. For instance, why is the OBC quota not in the bill? People are saying, "Bhai, Prime Minister to OBC hoga, par hai to Manuwadi party ka." He has to stick to his own party's caste biases and so on and so forth. Are we being a little unfair on the Prime Minister? Because caste-based OBC quota has not been there earlier also. So suddenly Ambedkar made sure that in the constitution also there was no OBC quota. So suddenly to accuse the Prime Minister and tell him why is OBC quota missing from the women reservation bill, it is something that, well, the opposition is doing. And perhaps the BJP was hoping that this would divide the India alliance, and the Congress may not be able to back a bill that doesn't have a OBC quota. But Sonia Gandhi, I would say that in this, kudos to the opposition. They played their cards really well, knowing that the special session has been called, suspecting that the women reservation bill may come. Sonia Gandhi has, for the last week before the bill came up, been reminding the voters. The Congress has been reminding the public on social media and otherwise that it is the Congress that has been championing the bill. Panchayati Raj reservation was brought in by Rajiv Gandhi. So the Congress has been a champion of women's reservations. They were stalled by various other constraints. And Sonia Gandhi wrote a letter to the Prime Minister saying, if you're calling a special session, then please do have, not please, but she kind of used a harsher word. I'm using please. But bring in the women's reservation bill. She kind of threw down the gauntlet. It was more of a challenge. And well, when it came, I remember Sonia Gandhi walking into Parliament 2 days ago and people asked her, "Ke bhai, women's reservation bill aayega?" So she said, "Haan, apna hi to hai." So they have made sure that apna hi bill hai. Everybody is fighting for that credit, which is why the Prime Minister could have brought in the old bill that was passed in the Rajya Sabha in 2010 and got this passed in the Lok Sabha. But then he would have had to share credit with the UPA because that was passed by the Congress. So in order to avoid the Congress taking credit, he's brought in a whole new bill with all these, conditions for delimitation, etc., etc. So it's a new bill that will be passed in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and it will be the Modi government bill. It will not be the old UPA bill because he does not want to share credit. Sonia Gandhi is there reminding him that, hey, we were the ones who piloted it, we were the ones who are pro-women, and we have more women leaders apart from just giving token representation. Because Rahul in his speech said that he would have liked the president to be here, who's a tribal leader, and which is true. They may have appointed Draupadi Murmu as the president, but in a lot of occasions, such as the inauguration of the new parliament, she was missing. So why is the president being sidelined, who is a woman leader? So this is going to go back and forth. BJP also needs a win on the women's vote because after Manipur violence, after the women's wrestlers protest against a BJP MP. In fact, Bhushan Sharan was sitting right there in the treasury benches when the women's reservation bill was being debated. Not the right optics. So that is something that is going to come and haunt the BJP. BJP needs a win when the women vote. Women have come out and voted very strongly for the prime minister, especially in the 2019 election. So he does want that vote bank back. He's been championing triple talaq, Ujjwala scheme, and various other women-based schemes. So he needs to ensure the women voter that he is there by their side, and this bill may go a long way in doing that. But the delay is something that the BJP will have a problem explaining. Rajasthan elections are coming. Will they make Vasundhara Raje a woman as the chief ministerial candidate or not? These are the ticket questions that are going to be coming up. But at the end of the day, the bill is there. It's been tabled. Now, when it comes or not, but at least the big hurdle has been crossed. And for that, I think we all must celebrate and congratulate ourselves. On that note, wish you a happy celebratory note for women viewers and for all the everybody who's watching this show, and keep watching Priya's podcast.